What is going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop Luke. We're in the finals. We're locked in. We're locked in for finals with a good win over the Gold Coast Suns. So let's run that intro, jump straight into it. Just before we do jump straight into it, you still have a chance to win that $50 gift voucher. I will be drawing the winner on my preview of the last game of the season, the Port Adelaide game, which should drop on Sunday. If you still want to be in a chance to win that, go onto my previous video, which was the preview for the Gold Coast Sun game, and go into the comments, type in "I'm in," automatically go into the draw to win a $50 Collingwood gift shop gift voucher. As always, follow me on all my socials: Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. My Twitch is nearly fixed. I miss streaming. I'll get it fixed this weekend. Huge Twitch session. Anyway, let's jump into this review. So we went into this game needing a win to lock in a finals position, and that first quarter, it was a bit up in the air. Gold Coast came out to play. Sexton kicked 3 goals in the first quarter. They were first to the ball. They were beating us in clearances. The pressure they were applying to us was insane. Running it off the halfback, counter-attacking, ones over the top. And I thought, here we go. Here's another Collingwood performance where we should win, but we just don't. And the second quarter was a little bit better. And then the second half, which we have been doing for the last couple of rounds, last couple of weeks, we blew them out of the water. Okay, it wasn't a 50, 60 point win, but we did blow them out of the water in that we started getting on top. The pressure factor was there in that second half. That wasn't there in the first 2 quarters. We started, kicking goals. Jordan De Goey was on fire. Mason Cox was on fire. Treloar got, over 25 disposals. Pendlebury got back into the game. It was a good all-round, second half. But in saying that, that first quarter, that slow first quarter, isn't going to win you many finals. So the likes, a lot to like about this game. Of course, we know we win games, a lot to like. Jordan De Goey, match winner. Absolute match winner. Kicked 4 goals. I think at one stage, we had kicked 5 goals overall. He had kicked 4 of our 5 goals. The last time he played was against Geelong, where he kicked 5 goals and effectively won us the match there. Effectively won us the match against the Gold Coast Suns last night. X Factor. As we know he's an X Factor. We know. And we know he's worth 1.2 million at least a season. We know that. But we just miss that class. And what it does, which leads me to my other like, is that the guys have someone to go to in the forward line that is going to fire. He's going to create a contest. He's not going to drop off, And yes, at the start of the season, he was doing that, but because he was playing in the midfield. Last night, he played predominantly not even predominantly. He played in the forward line the whole time. The whole time he was on the ground, he was in the forward line, and that's where he needs to stay. I know everyone wants to play as a midfielder. Everyone wants to be an inside mid. Everyone wants to get those disposals. Jordan De Goey, like Stevenson, has to stay in the forward line. That's where they do their best work. 4 goals. He's kicked 9 goals in his last 2 games. Absolutely ridiculous. X factor that we need. Yes, okay. If we had him last year in the prelim, we could have beaten the Giants. But that could happen this year. He's that guy in the team where you give it to him. Okay, he might miss a shot or 2, but now I've got that confidence in him. I didn't at the start, but if he's going to stay in the forward line, I've got much more confidence in him now than I did at the start of the season when he was in the back. He was in the midfield and splitting his time up. Let Elliott do that. Elliott does it great. Let Elliott do that. But the segue from before that I never got into was it brought Mason Cox into the game. This was, now hold on to your horses or hold on to your chairs or make sure you're sitting down. This was Mason Cox's best performance since the 2018 prelim. That 2018 prelim was one of the all-time greatest performances in a final in general. Not even a Collingwood player, just hands down. Amazing. This was Cox's best performance after that. Sure, he didn't take 1 million marks or kick 1 million goals, but he was taking marks in conditions that were shocking. The grand final's got to be interesting, but he was taking marks in conditions where it was no good. I don't think he got outmarked once. Kicked some very, very, very nice goals. Took a bounce. His 4th ever bounce in the AFL. Like his AFL career. His fourth ever bounce. In the wet, dewy conditions like that, back himself in, glow. You know, he has that American swagger. Everyone talks about it. I feel like a dickhead for saying American swagger, but that's exactly what he has. He exudes that confidence. That's exactly what we need. Kind of like the same boat as Jordan DeGoey. Wasn't a big fan of him at the start of the year. I know they're both crucial to our team, but they weren't playing good, and I was rightfully calling for them to be dropped. Now they're back in the team, kicking ass, absolutely kicking ass, especially Mason Cox. Our forward line revolves around him. With Jordan DeGoey in there, DeGoey takes, the best defender, Cox gets the second best, Mychik gets the third best, and it just works perfectly. If Stevenson was firing, maybe Stevenson works better with DeGoey in the forward line. Maybe that's what's going to happen next week against Port. We just try out a few little things. Love Varco in the team, in the forward line. Thank you. We've been calling for it. Thank you. In the forward line, kicking ass as he always does. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Another thing I liked, and I know this is a little bit crazy to say, is but we had more goals than behinds. It's always nice to know that we are starting to convert a little bit. We went at 56% conversion rate, which is really nice to see. Another thing I liked, we started taking the game on a little bit more. We did it against Carlton, stopped against Brisbane, did it against the Suns in the second half, but still started taking the game on a little bit. We love to see it. Isaac Quaynor, Noble, Crisp, Magin, you know how it is, and that exciting football is going to win us finals, let me tell you. There's not much to dislike about this game. Yes, slow start. It isn't going to win you many finals. We were so good in the first half of the season with our first quarters. There was a whole big thing about it. Then it kind of went from good first halves to good second halves and mediocre first halves. But that first quarter, just a little bit of a slow start. But Gold Coast Suns just came out. I guess we weren't expecting it. And then we kind of rectified it after quarter time. Pendles got into the game a little bit more and stuff like that. So that's the only kind of real big dislike. But another one as well is we're just not making enough of our forward entries. Another, 40% conversion rate from inside 50s to shots on goal, which, isn't good. 18 shots from, I think, 45 inside 50s or something like that. You got to convert more. You want to win finals, 55% at least. Like, I know I just said that, with Jordan to go in there, gives us a target and stuff like that. But it's not those ones that I'm worried about. It's the ones where we just bomb away and they've got a couple deep. We just gotta know when they've got deep players and just play that chipping game. I know we do, but maybe play that chipping game more towards the 50 instead of in the back line, because that just slows it down and it lets them get 18 players into their defense. But other than that, I think we had a really good game all across the board, second, third, and fourth quarter, obviously. Mainly the third and fourth quarter. Some special mentions. Brodie Grundy, he didn't have the best game in the ruck. I think he might be carrying an injury, because it can't be rest because he just had a 9-day break. But he'll come good. He'll come good, definitely. But just wanted to shout him out, mainly for his 8 tackles. Incredible, amazing, awesome. Well done. Love that. Adam Treloar, 26 disposals, 5 score involvements, 4 inside 50s, a bunch of tackles. Love him back out there. He's saying he's felt the best he has in a long time, so it's good to get some legs into him before finals. Remember in 2018, he was very underdone. Double hamstring against Carlton. He came back for the first final against West Coast. I remember that game so vividly because he wouldn't extend his leg when he was kicking. So we can get this Gold Coast Sun game into him, the Port Adelaide game into him. Maybe they rest him for the Port Adelaide game. I don't think they will, but, be on the lookout. Bit more legs into him. Plays that first final against whoever it may be. Comes out better. Biggest shout out or biggest special mention, Isaac Quaynor, round 17, Rising Star nominee. He went at 87% with his disposals. Over 300 metres gained. An absolute star. Go back to my first ever video, the JLT game against Fremantle. I was singing his praises already. I love the kid. Absolutely love him. He's just phenomenal. One of the best users of the ball in our team. And he's only, 20 or something? Ridiculous. So good. So as I've been doing, I've been asking you guys to leave me some questions on my Instagram, Swoop Luke, and I'll answer a bunch of them. I got some now. I haven't seen them yet, so we're going to go through them together. Who are you most apprehensive about facing round 1 of finals? Western Bulldogs, St Kilda, GWS, or Melbourne? I don't think the Giants or Melbourne will make finals, but if I had to choose out of one of those 4, I would be most apprehensive about facing the Giants. They just seem to know how to play against us, and we just can't beat them. It's ridiculous. We should. The prelim, lost by a kick. The other round, lost by a kick. For some reason, and they're not even travelling that well now, but I know that we'll still lose against them. But out of the 2 teams that I think will be there, the Doggies or St Kilda, I think most apprehensive out of those 2, St Kilda. They're a good side, good young, quick side. Well, I know he smashed them, but that was so long ago. So it would be St Kilda out of those ones. Imagine or Langdon if you had to choose. If I had to choose right now, Imagine. You're probably going, what the hell, Imagine? He's had a good block of form. He is backing himself now. And I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I loved when he told off Crisp. Okay, he dropped the mark, but he was getting pressured by the Gold Coast player, and Crisp, that was a bad kick by Crisp to go over the top of a Gold Coast Suns player when Roughhead was free. So Imagine had every right to have a go at Crisp there. I think that Imagine over Langdon. Langdon's been injured. He can't come in for finals without playing a handful of games beforehand, and he's just not going to get that. What's your preferred top 8 scenario in regards to where we finish and who we play? Look, I honestly want to finish 6th or 7th because I don't want to verse the Eagles. I know we might beat them, but it'll be over in Perth. I don't want to have to travel anymore. Leave us at the Gabba, I'd rather verse St Kilda or Western Bulldogs than an Eagles side. Okay, they haven't got players at the moment, but they might get players back. I don't want to verse the Eagles. So that was, where I want to finish and who I'd rather play and, who I'd rather not play. Will Hell return? So I got this one a couple of times. Look, I don't think he will. Like I said, kind of with Langdon, he has to have a block of games before he plays finals. Are you really going to risk him in a prelim? Because that'll probably be the only time that he can come back. You might, if it's a game, obviously it's a must-win game because it's a prelim, but if you know that he can perform better than Imagine or who would come out, like a Noble or someone, not even, or Quaynor, do you do that? Do you get more out of a Quaynor than you do out of a Howe that hasn't played for 10, 12 weeks? It's a hard one. I think wrap him up in cotton wool 2021. What is your opinion on the Brown brothers? I think Tyler is playing better than Callum is at the moment. Callum just seems to be, he's a good player when he wants to be, but at the moment he just seems to panicky with the ball, doesn't have a left foot. Sometimes it doesn't come off with his right foot either. He just has to have confidence in himself because we know he can be a good player, but just panics too much. Tyler, has a bit more poise in him at the moment. Tyler's going to do well, just has to put a bit more muscle on. But if I had to choose out of one of them to stay in the team, it would be Tyler. Look, it feels good that finals are locked in. Next week is still a must-win game in the sense that I don't want to verse West Coast, neither do you. Don't lie to yourself and say, oh, it'd be nice to eliminate them. No, it would be, of course, but let's not verse them in Perth first week anyway. 6th or 7th is the goal. St Kilda or Western Bulldogs. Let's do that. Let's try our best. It is just so good to have finals locked in. So let's take a break. I have a video out later on this week to celebrate him breaking the Pies game record, which is amazing. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers, I'll swoop you later.
Ooh la la.